Emin, Tokay.
Hey, we're here at the Red Bank Boxing Club with boxer, coach extraordinaire, Jackie Godwin. Jackie is a great friend. We've traveled to a lot of world titles together. We both won world titles at Ringside in 2010. That's a picture of Vicky Hurricane, who he trained as a woman, one of the best women boxers of all time. He may tell us a little bit about that as well. But Jackie now coaches the Red Bank team. He and I both kind of retired from master boxing, but Jackie, give us a little background of when you got into boxing, how boxing has enhanced the quality of your life through that experience.
Wow, I'll tell you, I'll try to just do a synopsis of it. I probably got involved in boxing. I was about 11 years old.
11?
And
well, that's 12 years ago.
I think I weighed about 82 pounds.
Wow.
And my dad was a big sports fan, and my older brother boxed a little bit, and my dad was a big boxing fan as well as his brothers. I actually had a great uncle who was a light heavyweight champion of the world, Bob Godwin. And he fought out of Moultrie, Georgia. And we had family down that way, and thought about that growing up as a kid, and didn't know anything about boxing, but I knew he did a great deal to be champion of the world.
Yeah.
And I'd watch the TV, the old black and white boxing with my dad, and he took me to a local boxing tournament here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and amateur boxing was in a heyday back from, I'd say, early 50s to the early 60s. Every school in the Chattanooga area, and that was so pretty much all over the country, boxing was huge. And every school in this area had a boxing team. And my older brother boxed for the local Chattanooga High School. And the tournaments were so big, John, that it would take them 3 to 5 nights just to do the local tournament.
I heard that, yeah.
Anyway, I got interested in boxing, and then I came down with a very serious, a life-threatening disease or infection. I got scarlet fever, and it kind of knocked me out of sports, took me out of school. I was bedridden for about a whole year, and I had a homebound teacher to come and help me keep my grades up so that I wouldn't fail. But I literally couldn't sit up in bed by myself.
Huh.
And this lasted for 6, 8, 10 months. And but at that point, all I could do is lay on my back and read. I was real sickly for about a year. And my dad took me to one of these boxing events, and I weighed 82 pounds. I'd been sick, bedridden for a year, and I couldn't see. But the place was packed, and everybody's screaming and hollering, and they had probably 20 bouts, maybe 25. My dad had to pick me up on his shoulder so I could see, and I was starstruck. I said, wow, this is better than being a movie star. You know, the cameras were flashing. They had the old flash bulb cameras back then. I thought, man, this is something I want to do. My dad said, oh no, son, I put a lot of money into keeping you alive. And, you know, so you could even sit up in bed. So probably within a year, I was sneaking out the back door and making my way down to the gym. And I found out my brother boxed, and that intrigued me more. I said, I got to find out what this is about. Make it to the auditorium one day. And so I got involved in it, and I had to tell a fib about my age. you had to be 13. I think I was 11. And one day I was 11, and I come back the next day I was 13. And
I love it.
didn't really like, that was the first and last lie I ever told. And, well, maybe not the last
Maybe
one, but anyway, I loved those kids, you know, I loved all the ones around them, and I wanted to box, and I said, wow, let's do this. And fortunately, my brother, he had the same name as my dad, so he put his name on there on my application and signed me up to box. And I guess the good Lord was looking out for me, so I won my first bout. And of all the ones, they was great. The newspaper sponsored amateur boxing back then, and they frequently put her pictures and names in the paper. And lo and behold, they put me in there by winning by knockout. And my doctor sees it. Oh my God, he's panicking. He calls my dad. He said, little Jackie boxing? My dad said, of course not. You know, he's too sick. He's recuperating. He said, well, the 82-pound Jackie Godwin, how many of them are in Chattanooga? And my dad said, uh-oh, I'm in big trouble. And I won by a knockout. And what they mean by knockout is you start beating on the other kid a little bit too much, the referee steps in and calls it over.
Yeah.
So I got real fortunate with that, as I've been all my life. Good fortune. The good Lord has always taken care of me when I least deserve it sometimes. He steps into my life. And that was... Anyway, the doctor said, well, do you think you could do that again your next bout? And I said, yes, sir. So he released me to box. And my health improved dramatically through exercise and discipline, walk, jog. My dad first started, he started walking. And then he come home excited. He said, there's old elderly women out there jogging. I said, well, if they can jog, you can jog. So he started jogging with them, and they were going too slow for him. He started running and doing better and improving. And he was in his mid-60s when he started. He started in his mid-60s.
Yeah.
And my dad, he ran his last marathon at 88 years old.
88, his last
He lived to be 94. And he had a respiratory infection. That's what took him out. But honest to God, if I think if his breathing had been better that day, he could run a 10K the day he died.
Wow, wow.
I love and miss him, and he was an inspiration that he took care of himself to the end. Much like you, John, you know, your body's your temple.
Yeah.
And if you take care of your body, it lasted. My dad lasted 94 years.
Wow. So you'd recommend that person on the couch that maybe 70, 80, you know, still can get out and start doing some...
Yeah, put the remote down and walk to the TV. And walk back.
Yeah. Well, the other...
and go get the mail 3 or 4 times a day. Go get your neighbor's mail.
Yeah.
Take your garbage out. Take it out again. And then start walking. Walk around the block.
Yeah.
And, oh my goodness. You, John, you're a living example, and as was my father. And I tried to even get my mom to get out, and she would work in the garden, you know, for hours at a time, bending over and raising beans and flowers and everything she could. She stayed busy, and she lived about 89. And that's a good life.
Yeah. And I heard you say you thank God for your protection, so your spiritual life is important to you as well.
My mom and dad was, my mom probably one of the last things she would do at night, she, her probably not necessarily in this order, but she would always cook my dad something to eat every night. And there would always be a neighbor come by to eat with them. Very rarely would I go by there wouldn't be a stranger or a neighbor, somebody eating with them. And as soon as she'd get the dishes cleaned up, she loved to watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy every night. And as soon as she got that done, she would read the Bible for an hour or two every night.
Wow.
And I love to watch her do that. And she never really pressured me that much, but she told me, she warned me, she said, for every minute you neglect the Lord, you'll regret it.
Yeah.
And so I've always been, I think of that often. Every
Yeah.
time I'm in a neglectful mood, I thank God for everything I've got. And He's kept me healthy, and I don't know about wealthy and wise, but He's kept me healthy, and He's kept my brain working, and I think He keeps me aware of my shortcomings and what I can do. Me and all my buddies here run this gym, and the reason I come over here is because it's been so good to me growing up all my life.
What's your age now, Jackie?
I'm 73.
73.
And I'm falling into the shadows of some great men. We have Skipper Fairbanks up here. He passed away, I think he was 89 about a year ago. And Henry Lucan built this gym for him about a decade or so back. And I'm just kind of fortunate to fall into a program that was built and just waiting for me to step into.
Yeah.
And one of my mottos from way back, my dad, when I was ill and sick as a kid, he said my mom said, you think he needs to be down there getting beat up? And she said, I actually think he's probably safer down there in that gym than he would be out roaming the streets. So as long as I had supervised coaching and played by the rules and stayed in good condition, he didn't worry where I was, as long as I was in the gym.
Yeah.
And one of my quotes that I've lived by most of my life is something I came up with. I'd rather spend an hour in the gym than an hour in the streets.
Yeah.
And that's what I go by. I'd rather have these kids over here where I know where they're at. They're working out, and they're sweating, they're getting their legs in shape and their lungs in shape, and they're taking their frustrations and aggressions out on each other, and
the bag sometimes.
and the bags, they stay in good shape. And looking back, I think I had we didn't count all the fights back when I was growing up like we do today. We didn't, and I say count them, we didn't document as closely as we do now.
Like the books we have now.
We didn't have we use a passbook now, like a passport book, and they document and qualify each bout you have. Back then, sometimes I would have 2 or 3 bouts in one night. And after going through all that, I just, I'd rather spend time here with these kids and give them a place to go. They got a good place to work out, and I know they're safe here. So they're safer here than they are out roaming the streets.
Yeah, and we just thank the Lord for the blessings that you've had here.
I've been so lucky, and I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful every day. I mean, I'd overcome injuries and sickness, and at 73, still be able to follow the footsteps of Skipper Fairbanks.
Yeah.
He did this all of his life, and he probably was doing it since he was 10 or 11 years old, and he passed away at 88 or 89, and so I've kind of inherited this from him, and hope to keep it going for as long as I can, and with the help of John Disterdick and Donnie Pale and all my other buddies. I got so much help. Jack Flash Clemens just walked in, and
hey, there he is.
I got so much help here that
Jack Flash back again.
I just look over their shoulders and make sure they're doing it right.
Yeah, that's right.
And they are.
Learn from the best.
Hey, well, Jackie, I appreciate this, your information, this kind of a testimony, and we just hope people watching will realize
God bless. And
God-
get
out.
like they say, Nike, get out there.
do something.
Go
yeah.
do it.
Our theme is get involved.
Yeah, get
Nike's.
involved. Don't think about it.
Just-
Do it.
All right. God bless. Thank you.
God bless.
We want to thank you for watching RedefiningAging.us. I'm John Disterdick, your host. And our goal for the series is pretty simple. We just want to enhance the quality of people's lives. So if you know of an event that you think would be one for good for us to cover, please fill out the form on our website, and not only the event and what it is, where it is, when it is, and if there's a person you know that you think would be a good person for us to do a testimony on in some event, please let us know. And if you want a fuller description of my testimony, you can either go to johndisterdick.com and look under ministry, or you can go here at redefiningaging.us. We appreciate your viewership. God bless, and hope to see you on more shows.